Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn, guys. Hope everyone's doing fine. Everyone's doing well this Sunday morning, guys, or afternoon, evening, wherever you are, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please, before I start, as usual, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And please don't forget to smash a like on the video if you guys can do that. It was a late night for me last night, obviously, watching the very, very dour England game, 1-0 against Andorra, for goodness sake. What is wrong with those players? It was so boring. Absolute waste of my time. And 95 minutes that I will never get back, unfortunately. But that is just the way of the beast, guys. But thank you so much for joining me today. Of course, we're going to be getting into Manchester United in regards to Mbeumo. We've got some news about Mbeumo. We've got some news about a Swiss player that Manchester United are linked to as well, which is very, very interesting. Garnacho, is it goodbye for Garnacho? What do you think about Garnacho? I've written a poll on the actual YouTube channel. Let me know what you think. Are you happy that Garnacho is leaving? Or are you sad, that he's going to be leaving the football club? I'm a little bit balanced. I'm like neither here or there, but you know what? It's sad that we're going to let a very good young player leave, in my opinion. We never used to do those type of things, letting one of the best prospects go. Unfortunately, there is a whole number of problems in regards to what has happened with Garnacho. Obviously, had the problem with a certain section of the fan base. He also had the problem with the liking, those itchy fingers of the clicking on the likes and stuff like that on Twitter and stuff like that. Certain tweets he used to like, certain comments he used to make and stuff like that. Maybe it's just become a little bit toxic for Garnacho, but he is young. This is the whole, it all boils down to he's young and he's going to make mistakes, isn't he? And that is exactly what I would say about that. Let's see who's in the house. Big up everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Good morning, Randy. Morning. How you doing, my friend? Big up yourself. Hope you're well. Big up Sanjay. Big up Koku. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. And good to see Denbo in the house. Morning, mate. How you doing, Denbo? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're well. And good morning to Tyberg. How you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Look, you know what? I'm going to start off with Garnacho because, everyone knows my stance on Garnacho. I think he's a very talented player. You don't score the type of goals that he has scored. You don't become a Puskas winner. You don't become the top 5 young 20-year-olds in Europe, in the world, for no reason. You don't win a Copa America if you've not got the talent in an Argentinian squad, which is riddled with talent, of course. So with me, it's like, well, it's very disappointing in regards to what's going on with Garnacho, the fact that he's going to leave. I would like him to go abroad. I would like him to go to Napoli or Leverkusen, and that is his most likely destination. I still think he'll go to Napoli, but there is rumors about Leverkusen as well. Leverkusen is in for Garnacho big time, especially the fact that we got Erik ten Hag there, haven't we? Who likes the player, and manage the player, of course. So that could be a possibility. In my personal opinion, I think Garnacho will be better served going to Italy. He'd be better served going to Napoli, obviously reuniting with Scott McTominay. That would be great. We don't want him to go to Aston Villa, of course. Rumors circulating about Garnacho going to Aston Villa, which I spoke about on this channel weeks ago. He could also go to Aston Villa or another Premier League club. We don't want that to happen. There was also rumors about nearly a year ago now, wasn't it, with Chelsea in the fray, So that is obviously important that he doesn't go to a Premier League club. We don't want him to go to a Premier League club because you know what? It's going to bite us on the backside, guys. It's going to bite us on the backside. So we cannot let him go. The problem is when you transfer list players, it's very hard to dictate where they go to. You can't go there. No, you can't go there. It's going to be difficult, but I hope he does choose abroad. Good morning, Saul. What's going on, my friend? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you back, mate. Hope you're good. Dembo, all good, mate. Just waiting for our second, third Saturday. Come on, Dembo. Let's do this, guys. And let's get into some positive news in regards to Manchester United. Mbeumo could be hours away in regards to a move to Manchester United. We are waiting for the here we go from Fabrizio Romano. We are waiting for it, guys. It could be any minute. It could be whilst I'm online. It could be any time now, guys. I hope it is. One thing I do hope is that we get this deal over the line so that we can move on to Gyökeres. We can move on to Gyökeres. If we can move on to Gyökeres, that would be great because obviously there is new rumors from Ben Jacobs, been speaking about it, rumors about PSG. The fact that PSG are going to get sell Asensio and maybe Ramos as well, and Mwani as well. So that they are looking for another striker. So they could be in for Gyökeres. So we've got to move quickly in regards to Mbeumo so we can go after Gyökeres. I don't know why we can't do 2 deals at a time. I know we've been doing this for many years, and it not being able to have the capability to do 2 deals at a time. It's ridiculous, but it is what it is. But I hope we can get this Mbeumo deal over the line. The here we go comes pretty soon, and then we can move on to the next player because we got a lot of work to do. Let's be honest. The window does close in literally 2 days. Of course, Tuesday it closes. So we hopefully we can get everything done by then. Don't be surprised if we hear more of the news tomorrow. But I hope that the here we go will be today, and I hope it will be announced by Manchester United tomorrow, which will be absolutely fantastic, of course, guys. Saul, if Erik ten Hag wants to make moves, then please take Andre Onana with you, my dear sir, since you wanted him at the club. He's already signed the Brentford goalkeeper, hasn't he? He's already signed the Brentford keeper. So, I don't think he's going to be going after another goalkeeper now. I think he's got his goalkeeper. It's a cheek, isn't it? It's really a cheek. It's out of order, to be honest with you. He bought us this dud goalkeeper, in Onana, and then he doesn't want to buy him back. The polite thing would have been to buy the bloody goalkeeper back, but he didn't do it, obviously. But you know what? Upset, disgraced about Erik ten Hag and Onana. Absolutely. Onana could dig his heels in. Of course, it is pretty obvious that Ruben Amorim wants another goalkeeper. It is quite obvious that he's not his goalkeeper. Ruben Amorim has openly said that he wants his man. And I don't think Onana is his man. The problem is that how are we going to get rid of Onana? Who's going to want Onana? Onana could easily dig his heels in and say, look, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to wait till my end of my contract. And speaking to waiting to the end of the contract, Jadon Sancho could quite easily come back to Manchester United and say, right, I've got a year on my contract or so. I'm going to wait till my contract is over, and then I'm going to get a big payout somewhere else. I don't care. Put me in the reserves. I don't care. Put me in the reserves. That's what he could do. Some people are also saying that Sancho done this out of spite. Sancho done this out of malice, which I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not totally denying it, but he is that type of character, isn't it? Really, he is a really manipulative type of character that would do something like this. But you know what? On a positive note, we're going to bring in Mbeumo. There's a lot of positive news coming in about Man United. Mbeumo should be coming to United. There is news about Tottenham Hotspur coming in with a late bid for Mbeumo. I just don't think it's going to happen. Since Mbeumo has already stated that he wants to play for Manchester United, I don't think anyone can break down this deal. So I'm hoping that this here we go will happen very, very soon, guys, and we can move on from this deal because it is taking a little bit of time, isn't it? To get this over the line. Of course, it is a big deal as well. Of course, everyone. Of course. Tyberg. I can't say I'm happy Garnacho will leave, but devastated I am also not. Absolutely. We have to make these moves for a proper rebuild. If Amorim, we are better without him. I tend to believe him and support him. And this is the biggest thing, Tyborg, isn't it? It's a very mature way of looking at it. We got to look at things from the fact that if we really want this manager to succeed, we got to back everything that this manager wants to do. I personally don't think this was all down to Ruben Amorim, though. I think it is partly down to Garnacho as well, and maybe a sprinkle of Ineos as well. That, we can get full profit on Garnacho, and that profit can go to Gyökeres. If it could go to Gyökeres, then great. That's brilliant. Obviously, we're going to get other teams sniffing around Gyökeres, so we need to get a move on. We need to get a step on, to be honest with you, because we cannot be waiting and resting on our laurels with Gyökeres because he's a very talented player. Sad, yes, in regards to Garnacho. Devastated, as Tyborg said. No, we've lost many great players in the past. Garnacho, it just came to the time when, it just hasn't worked out. The toxicity is getting too much. It's hard on his game. And I think he will thrive elsewhere. I really do think he'll thrive elsewhere. I think he'll go elsewhere, and I think he'll absolutely smash it. I really do think so. I think just as long as he doesn't go to the Premier League. I don't want him going to the Premier League because I know that that's going to come back and bite us on the backside. I really do. I hope he doesn't go to the Premier League. Please don't go to the Premier League. Absolutely. Don't go to another club in the Premier League. He's in the Premier League, isn't it? Good afternoon, Pearl. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. But it sounds like he would prefer to stay in the Premier League. This is a sad thing if he stays in the Premier League, Pearl. Because at the end of the day, if he stays in the Premier League, he's going to bite us on the backside. You know what happens, really, doesn't it? These players go to another club and then they score against us and stuff like that. I would much rather go to Napoli. I think it'd be better for his career. I really do think it was. Look what's happened to McTominay. McTominay's been ranked as a Ballon d'Or contender. You know what I mean? There you go. So I think he should go to Napoli or go to Leverkusen if he wants. It'd be a lot better for his career. I don't want him to go to another Premier League. In particular, Chelsea, not Chelsea. Chelsea is just an absolute no-no, guys. Absolutely. Big up Anvish. Good morning. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Also, Garner did that in TV interview after the final, knowing that we will get he was still an exit at the club. Yeah, he did that. We all knew that he was going to leave the club after that. There's no turning back. The petulance from it is ridiculous. He made it all about himself. He knew that calling out the manager in regards to his selection policy would cause problems, and it would signal the end of his Manchester United career. Personally, I do think he wanted to leave Man United after everything that's been happening. We also had that chubby fella outside Old Trafford giving him abuse. We've had a number of things in regards to his tweets, liking of tweets and things. So it is all geared down towards leaving the football club. And nothing, at the end of the day. And it is sad. It's not something that we should celebrate, because Man United have never really done this with our best young players. Unfortunately, attitude is everything in football. Ego is a problem in the new generation, in my opinion. And it is sad that he will be leaving in the end of the day. And I wish him well, as long as it's abroad. Of course, guys. Abdullah, big up this channel. And Mbeumo, here we go. I saw Spurs in him. Yeah, mate, there was rumours about Spurs circulating around, but Mbeumo's already sacrificed himself in regards to saying that he wants to play for Manchester United, and that is the be-all and end-all for him. He set his heart on Manchester United. Why would you want to go to Spursy? Spursy? You want to go to Spurs? Spurs? Garnett, can you imagine Mbeumo hears about Spurs coming after him?
Do you know Tottenham? What? Tottenham Hotspur?
Topspur?
No.
What's that?
You never heard of them?
No.
No chance he's getting away with that one, man. No chance he's going to Tottenham. Absolutely. Can you imagine? Morning, Gav. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Sal, thoughts on Manuel Ugarte? Do you think he starts consistently from next season, or do you think Amorim does not trust him? The thing that I say about Ugarte, right, is Ugarte didn't have a pre-season at Man United, so I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think he's had some good games at Man United last season. I think he's had some poor games for Man United last season. I would give him one more chance. Obviously, it's not up to me. It is up to Ruben Amorim if he trusts him or not. I trust him. I think he's a very good player. I think he's extremely good, and I think that he will be better next season. At least I hope he will be. When I look at the Man United midfield, I do get a little bit concerned. I look at the Bruno and Casemiro, or Bruno and Ugarte, or Bruno and Mainu. I look at that and I don't see something that strikes out to me as, yeah, that's our midfield. That is what our midfield is going to be. That is what we need. I don't see something like that. I see something like a bagel, at the end of that it could just be run through, and I do think we need to fix up short at that area for us. Hopefully Ugarte is that man. I don't think Casemiro can do it again. I really don't. Unfortunately, we can't get rid of Casemiro because of his wage. I do believe he's too slow for the Premier League. I think he'd be good for the League Cup and FA Cup and things like that. But I think he is too slow for the Premier League. I really do. And I think that we need to bring in another player in the midfield. I don't think obviously there's talk about Edison, Wharton, Baleba, those type of players who I really rate, of course. But it's going to be difficult to bring those players in, especially if we get Mbeumo and Gyökeres as well, which is, going to cost a lot of money. So we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, it does boil down to who we sell. I'm a little bit worried about Rashford. I'm obviously worried about Sancho, that they're not going to leave the football club. Rashford might go on loan. Sancho might go on loan. The only one I'm not concerned about is Anthony. I think Anthony will actually go out there and he'll find himself a club, because he's actually gone and done well, unlike the other players, of course. Kenny, good morning, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Top of my morning, Sancho is a disgrace. He denies moves everywhere just in paint. Sancho's a prick. Sorry, guys. At the end of the day, Sancho acts like that. He acts like a freedom fighter, isn't he? He's a freedom fighter at the end of the day, but he acts like a spoilt, petulant little child, too, honestly. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's rejected these moves from Chelsea, the wages from Chelsea, just out of spite, to spite Manchester United. That's what I honestly think that. I think he's that type of character to do that and sit on his backside and play computer games. And you know what? Wait until his contract expires so he can go to another football club, and get a big payoff. So what do we do as a Manchester United? If a player wanted to do something like this, what do we do in regards to that? Well, it's pretty easy. What you do with Sancho, you let him train with the reserves. You send him to the reserves. You let him play with the youth team and the reserve team. You let him suffer. That's what you do. That's exactly what Alex Ferguson used to do back in the day. He wouldn't even put him near the first team. He would make him train miles away. You know what I mean? That's what he would do. You know, and make an example of him, for example. You know, that's what I think we should do. Emmy Martinez says, or Magin, I'm saying Magnon's going to be a free transfer at RMCF in 1 year. So in 2006, Magnon's going to be a free transfer. So you know what? It would be Emmy Martinez right now because he's something that can happen right now. You know, he's something that can, but not for 40 million. Not for 40 million. I think Man United need to get him for about 20, 25 million, which is his market value at the moment. He is a 32-year-old at the end of the day. I do like Sedimans. I like Kova. I like Verbruggen. I like, many goalkeepers out there who I think will fit the bill for Manchester United. I actually think that anyone would be better than Onana, at the moment. I do think that. But to be honest with you, what will happen with Onana is up in the air at the moment. It's confusing because, Onana needs to leave. If we're going to get another goalkeeper, we need to sell Onana, and we need to get another player in, obviously as a backup goalkeeper. It does look like Bayinde is going to be leaving as well, so we need to get another goalkeeper, maybe two goalkeepers. Obviously, Vitek is coming back, so that's a positive. We're looking at James Trafford as well, which is another one which could be a kind of backup goalkeeper as well. There are a number of goalkeepers out there, that fit the bill. Good goalkeepers that are really talented. You can look in League One, League Two as well that are goalkeepers. And I just don't think Onana's that guy. I think Onana's a great personality. I think he has a good vibe about him. I think he's a good player in regards to a lower league team. A lower team in the league, and I just don't think he's an elite goalkeeper, and he cost us the Europa League at the end of the day, didn't he? He cost us the Champions League a year before that, and we should have known that, Unfortunately, we don't have a goalkeeper that is better. For example, Bayinde isn't going to be setting up any trees, isn't he, at the end of the day? Kenny, Mbeumo only watch United, not worried at all. Spurs who? Absolutely. We're not Spurs, but Spurs are trying to circulate stuff. Once a player actually says that he wants to leave the football club and go to another football club, then you know that he's going to go to that football club because he's already sacrificed himself, unless your name was Mikel. If you know, you know. In regards to Mbeumo, we're just waiting for the here we go, in my opinion. That is what I believe. We're waiting. That could be hours away. That could be minutes away. That could be any time now. We could be online and it might go, here we go. So we're waiting for it. Obviously, we're waiting for the go-ahead with the deal with Brentford, of course, which is expected to be around 50, 60 million. No one knows the real numbers, but it is around 60, 62 million tops, around that mark, of course. So let's hope that we get this through the door. Hopefully it happens today. It, by all means, must happen tomorrow. Obviously, the window shuts after tomorrow, so on Tuesday. So we have to get it done tomorrow at the minimum. But I do have a feeling that something is going to be out today. I do think that, absolutely. Hopefully. Freya, good morning. Mbeumo's bid actually accepted, or is it rumours? There is rumours at the moment, Freya. Obviously, there's a lot of noises around Mbeumo at the moment. There's a lot of people who want to be first. Obviously, there's a lot of people saying, I called this, I called that. Look at the news right now. People are talking about Van der Sar. How many times have we been talking about Van der Sar for the last few weeks, guys? How many times have we been speaking about him? Next will be Wesley. Next, we've been speaking about these players for a long time, and then all of a sudden that the media picks up on it, and then someone else said it. Yeah, right. Someone else said it. Give Stretford Post the credit and the community the credit at the end of the day, guys. But at the end of the day, the bid, there is rumours the bid will be accepted. I'm not saying it's not going to be accepted. I think it should be accepted by today. It's pretty obvious. It's not rocket science, Fred. There are a lot of people out there trying to be first. They're trying to, they know that this deal is going to be done. So no shit, Sherlock, basically. That's what I would say in regards to the people who are saying that this deal is going to be done. Of course, it's going to be done. It's literally 90% done. We're just waiting on the Brentford to accept the offer from Manchester United. There you go. Here we go. We're done. And that's it. We move on to the next player. And probably we'll be working on Jokeres next week on the 16th of June when the window reopens, of course, as well. Kenny, we didn't even have role models who can Garnacho. This is the problem, isn't it, Kenny? This is the problem with all the players, with even Ahmad, the problem. With Rasmus Højlund has been a problem. Mainu, the problem. Maybe even Lenny Euro might be the problem. Dorgu might be the problem. This is the problem that we've been having. We don't have any winners in our team. Players who've been there, seen it, done it. We don't have any true captains, warriors in our team. You know what I mean? Our captain's rolling around on the floor holding his knee. That's our captain, right? Throwing his arm around. That's our captain. right? As talented as Bruno is, that's our captain. You know, Roy Keane would have never done this kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? He would never have been rolling around the floor holding his knee. You know, so we don't have anyone really within our squad that is like, yeah, that's the guy I aspire to be like. He's the guy I want to be like. We have Casemiro, but Casemiro just looks like a chill guy. He looks like I just want to chill, bruv. You know what I mean? He's like that. You know what I mean? And I do think that we need more of these type of characters in there, even if they're not proven winners. The mentality, you know, someone who's going to get 100% out of those players. Garnacho hasn't been nurtured properly, and it's a sad. But I do believe that he's going to go to another club. I think he's going to go to another club, and he will be nurtured, and you will see a great player. You will be. And then a few months down the line, we're going to say, you know what? We shouldn't have sold Garnacho, you know? We shouldn't have done that, you know? We shouldn't have sold him. I knew we shouldn't have sold him. And that's hopefully, fingers crossed, that doesn't happen. We don't want to see that next season because that would mean that things are going badly, of course. Emirate, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. We should only sell him for 80 million in the Premier League. Yeah, Emirate, I agree with this completely because this is a big point because in regards to the price tag, all this 40, 50 million business, Garnacho is a Puskas winner, Copa America winner, top 5 player, young player in the world. Guys, he's more than 70 million. If he goes to the Premier League, we put on the Premier League tax, just like everyone else is putting the Premier League tax on us, just like they're putting the Premier League tax on Mbeumo. We put Premier League tax on Garnacho. So if Aston Villa want him, even though I believe that Aston Villa can't afford him, by the way, Aston Villa's FFP PSR is absolutely atrocious. Aston Villa need to sell to buy at the moment, even though that, you know, I would still put up a big hefty price tag on him. Obviously, there's still circulation rumors about Chelsea coming along and stuff like that. So hopefully that doesn't happen. And hopefully, you know, he goes to Napoli or Leverkusen. That'd be much better. Emirates, why is the Mbeumo deal taking so long? Brentford are digging their heels in, Emirates. Brentford are digging their heels in, and you know Manchester United, they're not willing to pay a certain amount of money. Probably Brentford were not happy with it by the way the deal was happening, by the way that it was announced to the world. Basically, in the media, there was news about Mbeumo wants to come to Manchester United, and Brentford were not happy about that. So what Brentford are doing, basically trying to squeeze Man United for every single penny that we have. And to be honest with you, and Man United are willing to pay up to 62 million, which is obviously including incentives. So obviously Brentford are going to try and push it higher. But when it starts to get to 70 odd million, I don't think we should be paying that sort of money. So this is the problem with it. You know, we've got other positions on the pitch to fill, you know, and the fact that Turkey's going to Man City for 20 odd 5 million, 30 million, you know what I mean? There you go. So we got to be careful what we do. So hopefully the here we go will be happening today. If it doesn't happen today, it will happen tomorrow. Obviously, the window is closing. Obviously, we don't need to wait much long for the window to reopen. It opens on the 16th of June again, doesn't it, at the end of the day, guys? So let's wait and see. Let's hope. Coco, real sad about Garnacho. We have exposed his flaws by playing him too much. The talent is there, and I reckon we would have made more money 2 frees from now, but his behavior just didn't help. It didn't help, Koku. It didn't, and I agree with that. That's a very intelligent comment, Koku, because I can't agree more, you know, with that. You know, at the end of the day, whatever happens between him and a certain fan, that's another thing. That did happen as well. There was a lot of negativity going around him and stuff like that, which was unfair, in my opinion. But the problem is this. You've got a young kid, right? 19, 20 years old, suddenly becoming this millionaire, Copa America winner, Puskas winner. And I think it takes a strong character to remain level grounded. I do think that his ego is a little bit inflated. I think when he's on the pitch, it's not so much that he's greedy. I think the fact that he panics, he wants to score goals. Garnacho was raised in a youth team as a striker. He wants to score goals. He's got that instinct that I want to score goals. I want to get in the score sheet. That's the thing. You know, he was never like a more of a winger. He was a goal scorer. And if we know him from the youth team, you know, sadly, you know, some things just don't work out. I do agree with Coco there that he would have been more money within 2 or 3 years. He would probably be getting almost, you know, a quarter more than what we're getting right now. You know, I would have loved to see Garnacho alongside Mbeumo and Cunha and that, you know, it would have, I think that would have nurtured him a little bit. That would have made him a better player. You know, unfortunately, Man United need to cash in. And if Man United can cash in, as long as that money is reinvested into the team, I'd be happy because, you know, we need Gyökeres, we need a striker, and then that's it. And then we just have to take the hit with Garnacho. I do think he's going to be successful elsewhere. I really do. And I think people are going to be talking about, oh, what a mistake Man United made by selling Garnacho. And, you know, we will be here saying, well, we did say it, didn't we, at the end of the day, you know. But obviously his behavior does play a part. It is all about attitude at the end of the day. It is all about, you know, being professional at all times, the liking of certain tweets, you know, things like that, you know, the answering back, the flipping the bird as he did in Hong Kong. Those type of things, you know, are going to work against you, even though Ahmad did also flip the bird as well. So he needs to calm down as well at the end of the day, because he hasn't been brilliant since he's been coming back into the team. So he needs to calm down as well. And to be honest with you, there needs to be a culture reset. I think David Beckham said it in an interview. He was sitting with Tom Cruise, and David Beckham said that when they used to go abroad, they used to respect the fans. They used to sign autographs. They used to do this. Poking your middle finger up and whatever has been said, flipping the bird. I mean, just like what Rashford did, you know, those years ago, flipping the bird, it just shows a lack of class. You know, if anyone is shouting abuse at you, smile and then walk off. You know what I mean? Why are you doing that? Because you know that is going to be picked up by the media. You know that there's going to be picked up by the masses. You know that it's going to be used against you. Unfortunately, it's happened. And unfortunately, lots of has happened. Maybe too much. And now maybe is the time for Man United to cash in. Although I don't think Man United should just accept any offer. I think Man United... there will be a bidding war. Hopefully there is a bidding war. The news about Aston Villa, of course, coming from Ben Jacobs. I'm a little bit skeptical, obviously, because of Aston Villa are in debt almost. They are FFP ridden, PSR ridden. So I don't know if they can do that deal until they sell a few players, in my opinion. Coco, good news is that we are replacing him with better players. Ready players. I mean, obviously, Garnacho will probably go on to be a better player, isn't it? But Gyökeres will be a player that will be ready. You know, he will be ready to fit in. And that's what I think Man United need. I think Man United need those players that are ready to go right now. You know, we ain't got time to mess about now. Do you know what I mean? Giving Cunha and Mbeumo and you get Gyökeres in there, I mean, you're looking at a very, very powerful front line. I actually think this is going to be one of the most underrated trio in world football. I think those three can cause absolute havoc for any team. And this is why I think all the teams right now, the rival teams, Premier League teams, I've even seen Inter Milan fans say, oh, yeah, but, you know, but this, but that. Why is he signing for Man United for money, this, that, and the other? You can even see the hatred, the fear in there, you know, what it is, which in reality, that's what it is. It's fear. They fear the wounded beast. They fear that Man United is going to come back. And that's what it is. And they see Man United get Cunha. We probably will get Mbeumo. If we get Gyökeres, then it is. But at the moment, nothing is set in stone. As we say, nothing has been signed, sealed, delivered. At the moment, we've only got Cunha. We haven't got Mbeumo. Hopefully, Mbeumo will be done today or tomorrow. It is within hours, in my opinion. I hope it is. I really hope it is. And then we can move on to the next step in our rebuild, of course, guys. And I do hope also that we get rid of some players as well, because this is just as important. Getting rid of players as well is just as important. I cannot stress how important getting rid of Rashford, getting rid of Sancho, getting rid of Anthony, hopefully Luke Shaw. You know, these type of players, you know, we need to get rid of. If we got rid of those four, right? If we got rid of those four, I'd be extremely happy. That's it. That's decent. Do you know what I mean? Because that will cut a huge part of the wage bill off as well. Absolutely. Saul, Heung-min Son, after hearing Anger getting sacked. Oh, God. I mean, Anger getting sacked, he bought it himself, didn't it? Thomas Frank told Spurs that if they want him to be their manager, they should hijack Mbeumo's deal to Man United. Don't believe that, Frere. Don't believe that, Frere. That has not been said, because at the end of the day, Thomas Frank wouldn't be saying things like that as he's still Brentford manager. I don't think he'll be saying things like that. Don't believe in that nonsense, Frere. That is absolute nonsense. This is where the speculation becomes ridiculous, you know. And Mbeumo has already said that he wants to come to Manchester United. Manchester United have already agreed a deal with Mbeumo. They've already done that. Man United are just trying to fix up a deal with Brentford. It is already advanced in regards to that. This news coming from an outlet, I don't know, in regards to that, not really known, in my opinion, is ridiculous. It's just trying to add salt into something. A manager will not come out and say some nonsense like that, considering that Tottenham haven't even decided who their new manager is going to be. So that is absolutely ridiculous. Kenny, Ugarte should still be the starting player. We just need a central midfielder to support him. I agree, Kenny. I agree. Emirate, what is the latest with Anthony, Rashford, Sancho? This is the problem, mate. This is the problem. Anthony's not a problem. Anthony is wanted by Leverkusen, Atletico Madrid. Obviously, Betis want him as well. There are other teams around Europe that want him as well. So Anthony's not going to be a problem. Anthony will be sold. Don't worry about that. Anthony will be sold. The problem comes with Rashford and Sancho. Rashford is digging his heels in. He wants a move to Barcelona. Aston Villa have called their interest in Rashford. They cannot afford Rashford. Aston Villa are up in their knees with debt in regards to FFP and PSR. They're up in their knees with that. So Rashford obviously could be going on loan. Sancho, it looks like he could be going on loan too. And I have a feeling that Sancho in particular is going to run down his contract. I think that this is the mentality that we're dealing with, guys. This is the mentality we're dealing with. We've got Luke Shaw, guys. We've got Luke Shaw still on a 2-year contract, guys. A 2-year contract he's got at 200 grand a week. Who on earth sanctioned that deal? Who on earth gave him that deal? It's ridiculous, isn't it? Gardner remain 100% because he's worked with Amram and is sporting and knows Amram's system. Absolutely fair. Big up. I think we've kept our eye on Ederson. Yes, we're keeping an eye on him. But Ederson has also been looking at Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia. So Ederson could quite possibly be going to Saudi Arabia. So watch out for that one. That is important as well, because at the end of the day, you know what? Money talks, doesn't it? And there have been quotes of ridiculous amounts of money. Obviously, even Tony's getting 400 grand a week, isn't it? And stuff like that. So that is something that we need to obviously think about, you know. But yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I don't want a player that wants to go to Saudi Arabia. Rather, I want players that want to play for Manchester United at the end of the day. And, you know, obviously there is Wharton we're interested in. Baleba we are also interested in as well. There's a lot of players that we're interested in at the moment. So this is not the be-all and end-all. Richard Rios, as I spoke about last week in regards to him, the Colombian international. Obviously, we're interested in Richard Rios last summer. And but obviously, he was priced out of a move to Man United. There were quotes, 90 million or something like that. So there's a lot of players that we could be possibly doing. At the moment, I think Man United's priority is fixing that midfield, fixing that attack, fixing that striker area, and then we'll move on to the midfield, hopefully. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Hopefully we get some players out the door so we can do it. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. Actually, Roy Keane said that if you put Casemiro and Fernandes in the midfield, it would just be easy for opponents. It will be. I mean, that's, as I said, Emma, you know, my biggest concern is the midfield. My biggest concern is that we can get overly run in that midfield. You know, Ugarte on his own could do it. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see what happens next season in regards to that. But one thing is for certain, that is you know, Bruno is not a number 8 for me. I say that 120,000 at a time. You know what I mean? I think he is a more of an attacking player. But the one thing that is in our advantage is that if we have Mbeumo and Cunha in that area, we have more of an attacking prowess. So maybe we won't need to defend as much, hopefully, because we got players in that attacking area, 2-footed players as well, by the way, that can keep the ball, you know what I mean? And keep the ball and not run into blind alleys and are actually dangerous, you know what I mean? In my opinion. Darren, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Ugarte is our number 1 midfielder. Need to build around him. Big up, Darren. I agree with Darren. Yeah, I do agree with Darren. Tybo, Ugarte is not a problem. We have other more important areas to take care of. Ugarte was good in his first season. I think so as well. And I think he will be even better in the next one. I agree with that, Tybo. I think that because you look at the likes of Gravenberch and players of that nature, that ilk, they had poor first seasons, you know. You look at players like that, you know, many players come into the Premier League and don't set the world alight. Unfortunately, they don't. And that is just the nature of the beast, you know. We got to give Ugarte time. We got to give these players time. Unfortunately, we live in an era where it's so impatient, that we throw players under the bus. Guys, people were talking to me about how bad Dorgu is. Dorgu's not a good player, they were saying. They're telling me, we don't want Dorgu. But when you look at Dorgu, and I bring this into the show, guys. Right? Look at this, right? Dorgu at the moment, guys. Let me just clear this up. 1 second. Dorgu at the moment. So when we look at this stat here, top progressive carries, basically running with the ball. Dorgu is top of the list. Dorgu is a young kid, and look where he is in that list. Look at the names that he is surrounded by. This is Dorgu. Progressive runs in the Premier League, which is the most important thing in the Premier League. This is Dorgu. Look at him. Top of the league. Look at his age, guys. Look at his age. Look at his age. And look, top of the league in regards to progressive runs. So those people who are doubting Dorgu's talent, They don't know what they're talking about. Absolutely not. And this is the same thing that goes on with Ugarte as well. Ugarte is a similar issue. People with their lack of patience. They don't have the patience. They just don't. And they just throw players under the bus willy-nilly every single time, of course. But there you go. Proof is, of course, in the pudding, guys. Absolutely. Okay. So very, very important. But I'm happy with Amorim in making these tough calls and not letting players dictate. I agree, Saul. You know, you have to. A manager lives by his decision; he dies by decisions at the end of the day. And I think that we need to back this manager. I think we got to stop with this player FC, even if it is one of our favorite players. And you know, Garnacho was one of my favorite players. You know what I mean? And if it means that. You know, it's for Ruben Amorim's system, I'm all for it. I'm all for whatever Ruben Amorim wants, no matter if I'm against it. Unfortunately, we've got a section of the fan base who are more interested in their players that they want. And if we don't sign those players, they're going to hate on those players that we sign. For example, we're getting hatred for Mbeumo and Cunha and Gyökeres even. Gyökeres, you know, it's ridiculous. You know, at the end of the day. And for me, even if I don't like that player, if I don't rate that player, I'm going to say this. All right, I'm going to say I back the manager 100%. He's going to live by decisions. He's going to die by the decisions. But one thing's for certain, my position, I support Manchester United. I support the manager, and I'm going to hope that he succeeds because that is what it's all about. Unfortunately, there is some people in the fan base who want to be proven right and want in their own football club, apparently, to be successful, of course. Sal, when you're big. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. No need, no worry. Big up Seventh Foul. Big up Beef Bully. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hoping here we go before watching on stream Spain. I hope so, Kenny. That will add a good vibe to it, of course. Hopefully, my mate. Hopefully we get here we go very soon. I am predicting a here we go very, very soon, guys. I think that will be happening very, very quickly, of course. Beef Bully. Kenny's will be good. Got this thing. We'll fancy tonight. Who you want to win? Hopefully, I want, not that anyone cares, but I want Portugal to win, guys. Absolutely. Swap him for a Villa goalkeeper. There you go. Absolutely. Good point, that, John Lucono. Will we do that? Will we do that? That's the thing. Obviously, the problem with that, what I would say, Cornish, is the FFP, again, PSR, isn't it? Rashford is, if we're talking about Rashford is homegrown, isn't he? And obviously, Martinez is going to be about 20-25 million market value. That could possibly, I'm not too sure how that works, but you know what? I'm tired of PSR and all that. Absolutely. Spain are favourites, but I hope Portugal win. I do. Totally relying on Garnacho under Eric Ten Hag, whereas the seniors never showed up. Absolutely, bruv. Sal, when is Cunha's medical done? It's done, mate. I think it's done. If I'm not mistaken, am I mistaken? I'm not sure. I think it is done. I think he done it in Brazil or something like that. I think his medical is done. Yeah. I see. Okay, Sapping. Yes, Ronaldo is now still for that. Big up, Beef Bully. Guys, another player. He has been mentioned on this channel quite a lot, of course, and it's really coincidental that he comes into this channel. Arden Jashiri. Arden Jashiri is a Switzerland international who currently plays for Club Brugge in Belgium. Manchester United are currently scouting Mr. Arden Jashiri, of course, a Swiss international. 2 caps for Switzerland. Scouts are out watching him right now as we speak in regards to the World Cup qualifiers and the friendlies that are going on this next week or so. His market value is 25 million euros. He is a defensive midfielder, incredibly talented player. Of course, he can also play as a central midfielder. He has been linked with a move to Borussia Dortmund. So Borussia Dortmund wanted him as well. He's a left footer, Jashiri. And you know what? He's been mentioned on this channel a lot of times. And lo and behold, he's coming to the show. Jashiri has been gaining the interest of Manchester United. So let's see what happens. You may hear his name floated about this summer. Man United need a midfielder, especially one of 25 million euros market value, which is going to be very, very cheap, of course. So let's see what happens in regards to that. But that is a little bit of news coming out of Man United, a little bit of transfer news coming out of Man United as well, of course. Freya, what if Emery tries to use Cunha and Mbeumo as 2 number 10s? Then Xerxes has to centre forward to see how it'll contribute in terms of attacking and so what. Then I support it, Frere. Then I support it. If he wants to do that, then I'll see it. But I do believe we need we need a striker, mate. We need a proper striker. Xerxes is false number 9. He's not a proper striker, in my opinion. He's not a 20, 30 goal a season, man. That's what we need. We need a gunman. Yes, Sal. Big up, good Beef Bully. Beef Bully. Hope you're doing well. Good luck, hijack player who wants United. Tottenham going to try and hijack Man United players. Come on, man. They got no class or what? They need to go after their own players. Do you know what I mean? They've done Bergville, didn't they, before? They hijacked him. Big up Lucky Singh, by the way. They hijacked him as well. Dabzaz. Don will be a good talent in coming season. I agree. Absolutely. After the game yesterday, England will not win the World Cup. Teams do it. The problem with England, they got individual players, but they don't work as a team, Beef Bully. England are not a team. I do believe that England would have played better against Portugal or Spain than they did against Andorra. Andorra just done a low block, so it's just you can't really tell in this type of game. What I would say is that, as usual, Spain will be the favourites. I don't think Portugal will. I think Portugal, after seeing the last European Championships, I don't think Portugal are gonna do it, in my opinion. But they're a good team, Portugal. I think Spain are favourites. I think they're the best in the world at the moment. Unfortunately, England have good talent. I think England are a quarter-final team, a semi-final team if they're lucky. But I just don't think they can get over the line. I don't think so. What England need with the players that they have, England need an attacking coach. I don't think Tuchel is that guy. I don't think he's an attacking coach. He's a pragmatic coach. And England need an attacking coach. I think England need to get away from the likes of Henderson. They need to get away from even Harry Kane. I know Harry Kane scores a lot of goals, but he slows down the play in general. And I think that England needs to start moving towards something else, a new era in regards to that, and play more as a team. Because at the moment, I see a bunch of individuals. I mean, England have got great players: Declan Rice, Bellingham. These type of players. Saka, who's also brilliant. Cole Palmer, who's also a brilliant player. These are brilliant players. You know what I mean? Great players that we're talking about. Reece James and players of that ilk. These are good players in England level, But the problem is they need to learn to work as a team. That will come in time. The World Cup may be too soon for them, in my opinion. But as we know, with everything in football, everything in life, you never know what can happen in football. I've seen it happen. I've seen this record player loads of times. The problem is that England need to find an identity. And if they can find their identity, then I think they'll be a lot better team for it. Absolutely. Calvin, what's going on, my friend? Kid got poor season and thinks he can act like his idol Ronaldo. Stats don't lie. I don't care how talented he is. His mind isn't the right place. Next one will be Anana. There you go, Calvin. That's your opinion. Absolutely. I think that Garnacho will go on to do good things elsewhere. I think sometimes people underestimate how big Manchester United are. The stresses around Manchester United, they forget how heavy the shirt is, in my opinion, the humblest of opinion. But you know what? We wish him well, and I hope that he goes on to do bigger things. But I just hope it's not in the Premier League. I hope it is somewhere else. I hope it's either Leverkusen or Napoli, where he should be going, of course. Carl, big up Calvin, by the way. Big up Dorgu. Hope you're doing well. Good to big up. Not big up Dorgu. It's not Dorgu. It's big up Carl. Big up Carl Smokey. How you doing? Well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Lucky Singh, big up. Out. There you go. Get the Villa midfielder Anana. He's a good player. You know one thing about Aston Villa, which is going under the radar a little bit. Aston Villa are on the brink of breaching FFP and PSR rules. They're actually right at the bottom of the league. Can you believe it? They are Champions League football as well. What have they done with their money, guys? Goodness me. They don't exactly spend a lot of money, do they? What is going on there? Someone is pocketing something, you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Absolutely. Guys, absolutely. Yeah, Kenny, Lucky Singh, too many messages, mate. Too many messages. Calm down, brother. Let's get Morgan Rogers for a discount. He was poor yesterday. I was very disappointed with Morgan Rogers yesterday. I thought he was poor. I think Anana would be a good buy. I do agree with that. Emi Martinez, of course, would be a good buy. I agree with that. Maybe even Ollie Watkins, a cheeky bid for Ollie Watkins. Yeah, Ollie Watkins he's a goal scorer, guys. Ollie Watkins is a goal scorer. We can get Ollie Watkins. What about that? You never know, guys. These type of players that can come in, that'll do well. But Aston Villa need money before they can buy it. So let's see what happens in regards to that. We should take advantage. I said it. We should take advantage of Aston Villa at the end of the day, guys. We really should, in regards to their problems. Absolutely. But you know what? Getting players out the door is also important in regards to Manchester United and getting players away from that. Of course, Lucky, Mason Mount, Xerxes, I don't know what you're talking about. Lucky Singh, lots of names there. Jimbo, what's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. Let's get France, Kone or Onana. There you go, Jimbo. That would be great, mate. That'd be great to fit in our a void in the midfield. It would be absolutely fantastic. It would be brilliant. I would love that, Jimbo. Will we do it? I don't know. Man United are fixing the attack. The biggest problem last season in regards to Manchester United was the attack. We are not scoring goals, guys. We're not scoring enough goals. This is the biggest problem at Man United at the moment. Not scoring enough goals, And what happens, Goals win games, You can have a bad defense. You can have a bad goalkeeper. If you got a killer front line, ask Barcelona. Ask Barcelona when they had Valdez in goal. I never rated Valdez. Valdez played for Man United briefly, remember? But I never rated Valdez. But Barcelona had such a good attacking lineup that they didn't have to worry about the goalkeeper or even defense for that matter. I hope that Man United do fix the attack. I hope they get that. And hopefully they have time and money to fix up the rest of the team as well. I would love us to get a goalkeeper. I would, because one thing about Onana, it fills me with too much anxiety, with too much, indecisiveness. And I get nervous when I watch Onana. I don't know about you guys, but I get nervous about him, But you know what? Let's talk about something positively. And Mbeumo could be signing for Manchester United within the next few hours. Literally, the latest that Man United could sign him, I believe. I'm thinking about there'll be a here we go maybe later tonight, or there may be a here we go tomorrow. Tomorrow is the deadline, but I'm hearing that it could be any time we could get a here we go. So in regards to Mbeumo, it could happen, and if it happens, I will be live with you guys watching that. I can't wait for it. Another player through the door, and another player that we need, and then we can move on to Gyökeres. And we can move on and build this team. The rebuild starts, guys. The rebuild starts. So don't be surprised if there is a here we go anytime soon. Literally soon, guys. We're waiting for it. We're waiting for Mbeumo to come through the door. That's what we want. And then once we got that, we got the Cunha and Mbeumo link up going on. Can't wait for that. And then we got Gyökeres as well, guys. And that would be absolutely incredible for Manchester United if we could do that. Although players don't wait around forever. We're going to have to get these deals done. We have to get these deals done because you know what? Other teams come sniffing around. When the likes of PSG come sniffing around for the likes of Gyökeres, then we're going to have a problem because they got Champions League, they got money, and they got Qatar and stuff like that. So obviously we have to get a step on, get a move on in regards to these players, of course, guys. Absolutely. Gumby, what's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. Barca was a generational team from top to bottom, along with Valdez. Valdez was a poor goalkeeper, in my opinion. Very easily beat. Was lucky that he played in a team that had great players around him, including PK and obviously Puyol as well. He had. When he came to Man United, he was, wasn't great. Was slippery hands. Barcelona didn't have the best goalkeeper in the world, but they had a team around him. But then again, what I would say, Gumby, in your defense, that Valdez is a far better goalkeeper than Onana. Different levels completely. Absolutely. Agreement 62 million done. Until it's announced, we can't say anything about their agreement at the moment. There will be here we go very, very soon, guys. And then we can say, but at the moment the agreement is not done. Don't listen to everything you hear, Mr. Lucky Singh. Don't listen to everything here because until Ornstein mention it, and obviously Ben Jacobs and Fabrizio Romano, in regards to that, it's a lie. People are trying to get there first. Just don't spread rumors, Lucky Singh, because you're speaking a lot at the end of the day. Gumby, different game in the Premier to La Liga. I agree with that. Yeah. It suited him more. I agree with that, Gumby. Football's not inclusive of everything. It's, at the end of the day, it's not as simple as ABC, is it? And this is exactly what it is. I don't think he was the best goalkeeper in the world. I think there were other Spanish goalkeepers who were better than him. I don't think he was crap. I think he was one of the best goalkeepers. But I think that in regards to Barcelona, in regards to the all-round team, I think that he was probably the weak link in that team. I think Puyol said that as well. I think Puyol said that day was the weak link. Barcelona, you can't really tell because they're such a great attacking team that, you couldn't really cope with them at the time. This is what it is. Man United don't have a good goalkeeper. There's not even talking about Valdez when we got Onana. I'd rather Valdez right now. Even at Valdez age, I'd rather have him than Onana. You know what I mean? At the moment. George, what do you think? Emi Martinez, a nutter, George, an absolute madman, an absolute hothead. He can be dangerous for Man United. He can what he did on the last game of the season, where he ran out and he fouled, Rasmus, and it was a red card. He is capable of doing things like that, but he's also capable of the moments like he did in the World Cup final. You remember when he saved that shot, from Awani, wasn't it? And he saved that shot, and that could have won France the World Cup. He's also capable of moments like that. That is the thing with Emi Martinez. The one thing about Emi Martinez, though, is that I would like him at Man United rather than Onana. Absolutely, 120,000% out of 20,000. I would love that, absolutely. But then again, I would love any goalkeeper other than Onana in our football team, of course. Gumby, Emi Martinez is a goalkeeper, solid in big games. He's a big game player, isn't it, Gumby? Big up Gumby, by the way. Thank you for joining the stream. He's a big game player, isn't he, at the end of the day? He's done it in the World Cup final, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? David, what's going on? Joker is very poor of his head. That will be an issue. We don't cross balls, David. David, we don't cross enough balls to be worried about him with his head. We hardly cross the bloody ball. You know what I mean? 49 goals, mate. I don't think we need to worry about anything. He will turn things into gold. Trust me. Stegen for Rashford when we get 20 million. Ter Stegen. Yeah, why not? Ter Stegen's decent. Never really blew up like I thought he would, Jimbo. But he's a decent goalkeeper. He's better than Onana, of course. Very low personality. Doesn't talk much on the pitch. I would rather swap Rashford with Emi Martinez or something like that if we could do something like that at Aston Villa. But I don't think Aston Villa want Marcus Rashford. That's the problem that we're having at the moment. No one wants our players, guys. The only Anthony is wanted, though. Anthony is wanted. Garnacho is wanted. Those two are wanted. But Sancho and Rashford are not wanted by anyone. What does that tell you? What should that do to Rashford and Sancho? Shouldn't they look in the mirror? Shouldn't they look at themselves in the mirror and say, is it me the problem? Is it me the problem? Am I the problem then? Am I the problem then that no team wants me? No team wants to pay the money for me. In fact, teams would pay to send me back to Manchester United. My good friends at Borussia Dortmund don't want to sign me. They're just mercenaries, guys. As I said yesterday, the worst thing you can do is make an idiot rich. Stop making stupid people famous and rich. That's what we need to. We need to stop doing that. Stop making stupid people famous and rich, because that is what we're doing with these players. Beef Bully. Stegen for I am scared of Thomas Frey. He's in a timeout for that one. Sorry, Beef Bully. I had to put him in a timeout for that one. My goodness me. What? Any news on Mbeumo? Mbeumo could be done. Bigger Ossis, by the way. Hope you're doing well. Welcome. Mbeumo could be any minute. Ossis. The here we go. Hopefully will be by the end of today. It could be whilst I'm online. It could be later on today. It could be tomorrow, but it is imminent. It is happening. Manchester United are this close to a deal with Brentford, of course, around 50 to 62 million, obviously including incentives, of course, as well. So there you go. So it's going to be worth around that amount of money. So Mbeumo looks likely to be a Manchester United player. The news about Spurs is just ridiculous. Obviously, that's been coming out the last 24 hours about, Spurs are going to come in with a 24-hour, a last-minute bid for Mbeumo. And Mbeumo's already sacrificed himself in regards to going to Man United. So that is happening. David says, Terza is a German Onana. There you go. It's all about opinions. Terza is dog shit. Barca wants to get rid. He is also insane wages. Big up Morgan, by the way. Hope you're doing well. Guys, hit the like button. Big up Big. What's going on? Big Nico. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well, Nico. Good to see you, mate. Says, news on Van der Sar for Monaco. Yes, I mean, I broke Van der Sar a couple of weeks ago. Man United was scouting Van der Sar last season. And now we're starting to see other outlets start speaking about Van der Sar. Van der Sar has been called up to the Brazilian national team by Carlo Ancelotti. I believe Van der Sar is the new Cafu. I like Van der Sar. I would sign Van der Sar. I would get Van der Sar through the door if I could possibly do that. Man United are interested in him, but Man United's priority at the moment is the striker position. So once we get Mbeumo through the door, Gyökeres through the door, whoever we get up front, Man United will start moving on to that right wing back in the midfield position. I think we should go after Van der Sar. I really do, because I think Van der Sar is a generational. Luckily, Man United are interested in him. Luckily, Man United are aware of Anderson. I'm glad about that. I'm happy about that. But we need to make a move. He's not going to be breaking the bank. He's not expensive. It's a bit like Lamine Camara of Monaco as well. Lamine Camara is another one that we can talk about as a brilliant prospect at Manchester, who could be coming to Man United. Of course, Jasari, who was talking about earlier, another midfielder who's been, gaining the interest of Manchester United as well. There's players out there. I just hope that we don't miss out on too many generational talents. Being in the Brazilian team at his tender age, as Vanderson is, being compared to the likes of Cafu, you know what? That is absolutely superb, isn't it, at the end of the day? And he's a superb player, and hopefully we can get hold of him, of course. Big up, Timo, the legend. Good to see you, mate. Thank you so much for joining me. Good morning, my friend. Hope you're doing well, Timo. Hope you're good. Thank you so much for joining me today. Timo, a new member, of course. Big up, Timo, of course. Hope you're doing well. Of course, Vincenzo, what's going on? Buongiorno, what's going on, Vincenzo? How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Goalkeeper, nothing to worry. Radek Vitek, absolutely. Coming back from loan, better than Anana and Bayindir. Last season he played versus Rosenberg. Yeah, guys, this is one thing that we have to remember. We do have Vitek on loan, don't we? So Vitek is coming back. So maybe we should give Vitek a chance, eh? Maybe we do that. Save some money, I've heard a lot of good things about Vitek. I heard a lot of good things about Vitek. My choices would always be Vitek, Kovar, Lamine Lamals, and Sedi Lamens, and things like that, of course. Big up Vincenzo for joining the stream. George, I would stick with Onana for one more season and try to bring in Courtois on a free in 2026, as Madrid wants Donnarumma as his replacement. There you go. Would you be able to suffer one more season, George? One more season? I don't know. Freya, I hope that Manu remain at the club. It's up to him, isn't it? He's the one who's rejected the contract, Freya, That's the thing. Morning, Shah. What's going on? Long time, my friend. Hope you're doing well. I expect Mbeumo here we go today, but I'm mainly more focused on Gyökeres. We need him. It won't happen before Mbeumo, so you need to concentrate on Mbeumo first. Absolutely. Our best bet is to improve Vitek, keep Vanya as a backup, or buy Chevalier or similar goalkeeper. There you go. All good goalkeepers, of course. Absolutely. All good goalkeepers. Shah, smash the like, subscribe. Thank you so much, Shah. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. I hope we sign Vanderson, Lamine Camara to team up. Would be lovely, mate. Would be lovely, of course. Let's wait and see. Big summer ahead. What's your thoughts on Estupien for Brighton? Ben Jacobs has LinkedIn. Well, I'll say, Shah, Man United don't need a left back, Shah. We don't need a left back. We've got a lot of players at Man United right now, of course, guys. We've got players, at Man United. We've got left backs. We've got Amas as a left back. We got Dorgu as a left back. Diego Leon as a left back. Malacia as a left back. Shaw as a left back. Man United need a right back. That's what Man United need. Man United don't need no left backs. We don't need any more left backs. We need to cut out this excitement about left backs and things. Dorgu is good enough. Right, I've just proven it right now with his stats. Dorgu is a good enough player, and we have to support him. Osas, when is Diego Leon returning? July, my friend. July for the preseason. He will be here for the preseason. Hopefully July the 1st, I believe. Freya, Brenda and Onana to move on, and Vitek and Debu move in. I do believe that. Diego Leon could be coming before that. I think he could be here in June. I think he wants to move quickly. He wants to get it done quickly, of course. David Zas. You remember David Zas of Newcastle United, the Greek defender? You remember him? Why Courtois when we can get Lunin and promise him first team starter? There we go. Shah, big up, my friend. Morgan. I mean, we'll not go for defenders or right wing back. He wants wingers, probably someone like Minta. There you go. There you go. They have to be defensively aware, though, Morgan, as well. That's part of it. They have to be defensively aware, which we don't have at the moment. We either have one or the other. We have a defensive one or attacking one. We need something that does both. This is why Frimpong was such a big player for us. Absolutely. But we didn't get him. Warren, what's going on, my friend? Johnny, I'll call you. What's going on? Hope you're doing well. Hope this is best for your team in 2025-26 season, my friend. Greetings from Indonesia. Big up Indonesia. Much love, my friend. Thank you so much. We're going to need all the luck we can get, guys. Hopefully, we have a very, very good season next season, guys. Absolutely agree with that, Shah. But big up, Warren. Johnny, big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. You absolute legend. Please don't forget to put your notifications on so you know when I'm going live. I am doing Chatterbox later on. I've also got the watch along of the Nations League final later on tonight, guys, between Portugal and Spain. So don't forget, guys, to tune into that. You know what I mean, guys, as well. Big up Albert, my friend. Any information about Mbeumo? Scroll back, Albert. He's going to be a Man United player very, very soon. Basically, scroll back to the beginning of the show. Spoke about him for about 20 minutes. Big up, my friend. Big up David as well. Big up yourself. We can also get Jonathan David free. Yes, we can, but there's a little bit of a problem with Jonathan David. He's not got a queue of people after him at the moment for whatever reason that is. Cunha, big up Cunha. Big up. Come on. Big up, Jimbo. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Have a great afternoon. I'll see you a bit later for Chatterbox. And don't forget, glory, glory, Man United. Take it easy, guys. Peace.